Hi everybody, Rusty here. It's a really unique time in motorsport at present, so I thought I'd do a bit of stuff with the Motorsport Australia team where we talk to some up-and-coming stars and those that have got a wealth of experience in motorsport, because we've all got a thirst for that. We want to get back to racing and competition as soon as possible. Really important for all of us at this time, whether it's as a part of a category or a club, that we do the right thing to keep this contained, and that'll enable us to get back to the track, to get back to rallying, whatever the competition is, as soon as possible. Today's guest is someone who is a bright rising star of the sport, and that was in fact recognised at the Motorsport Australia Queensland Awards, where he was given an award named after Will Power, winner of the Indy 500 and of course the IndyCar Championship. Harri Jones, g'day.
Morning, how are you?
It's great to catch up. How have you been spending this whole COVID period?
Yeah, I've actually been quite flat out. I've moved up my uni degree, so I'm studying full time this semester. Which has been busy. Obviously, just staying at home, staying safe. But yeah, it's all been good fun.
Tell us a bit more about that, because you've embarked in recent time on a degree there in Queensland, at Brisbane, at the University of Queensland, and you've kind of ramped up the studies this year, haven't you?
Yeah, correct. So last year I was studying part-time. Now I'm in my third year of my engineering degree, and I decided, I just wanted to get back on top of my course and ramp it up to 5 courses this semester, which has actually turned out to be a good decision, seeing as though we have so much time to get on top of things. But yeah, so I'm studying and then also working as an intern engineer at Harri Mods, which are also my naming rights sponsors for the last couple of years.
There's actually quite a good story about you working out, doing some stuff at the gym, which is important for motor racing, and that's how the sponsor connection started, is that right?
Yeah, correct. So at the start of last year, it was probably a month before the season started. I was looking for sponsors, and then it was just a random gym encounter with Will Shrapnel, who's the owner of Harri Mods. And we got talking, and we sort of both had an interest in what the other guy did. And obviously my interest being engineering and helicopters and how everything worked, and his interest being motorsport. And it sort of went from there. I came by the workshop and, to see how everything operated at Harri Mods. And then, it just went from there. And now he's naming right sponsor of my car, which is awesome.
I mentioned at the very beginning about you winning the Will Power Award there in February. What did that mean?
A lot. Will Power is obviously a very accomplished racing driver from Australia, and he's done incredible things not only in Australia but also overseas. And to have his recognition and in my ability is very special, and something that I'll treasure for a long time. Porsche
Pathway is the next part of the conversation that I want to have with you. Obviously with McElrea Racing, we can see that on the shirt that you're wearing there. More recently, I guess, Porsche Michelin Sprint Challenge, but this year it's very much about Carrera Cup, isn't it?
Yeah, so last year we ended up winning the Michelin Sprint Challenge Championship, which was awesome. The guys at McElrea helped me a lot. Obviously, coming out of Formula 3, it was a completely different driving style. I had to change a lot of things about how I drove, and that was pretty difficult in the beginning. But yeah, the guys at McElrea taught me a lot, and having the guys like Matt Campbell and Jackson Evans sort of have their little bits of input and learn from them has been pretty special. But yeah, now in Carrera Cup, it's with the big boys. There's no holding back there. So the start of this year has been pretty full on. Obviously Adelaide, and then we had one race at the Grand Prix, actually the only race at the Grand Prix turns out. But yeah, it's been good fun, and hopefully we can get back on track soon and get back into it.
You're working there with Lee Geyer, who's got an immense amount of experience in motorsport in an engineering sense, and obviously well entrenched there at McElrea Racing. What's that been like? Yeah,
it's been incredible. He, I don't know how he does it. He's a genius. It's rare to have a car that feels the same no matter what conditions, no matter what temperature, no matter what track, how the marbles are down on the track. But yeah, somehow the car's just always been perfect, and every bit of feedback I have, it's just fit straight away. So it's been pretty special.
You raised Matt Campbell there and Jackson Evans a moment ago. Great to be able to draw on their experience and potentially follow in their footsteps. And there is a connection with Matt and you that goes back a way, isn't there?
Yeah, for sure. So I started out racing in Formula Ford. So I skipped the whole go-kart phase. But in 2015, I started out in Formula Ford in the same car that Matty Campbell started out in. So that was with Greg Fay out at Morgan Park, and that was sort of his stomping ground, and it also turns out to be my little stomping ground as well. So having his feedback and having him sort of teach me a few things about the car and a few things about the track at the start of my career has meant, I've ended up just looking up to him my entire career. So it's been pretty cool.
And you've reconnected even at things like the Night of Champions, didn't you?
Yeah, so last year from winning the championship, I got invited to Germany to go have a night in Germany at the Night of Champions, which was awesome to be there and see, how Porsche works on a world scale and just have so many awesome people in one place at one time. But yeah, getting to catch up with Matty Campbell and Jackson Evans that night was pretty awesome, and see how far they've come, and just their lifestyles that they're living over there. It's pretty awesome, and it's definitely given me some drive to get there myself.
Looking back over your CV, was there a time where you may have considered a two-wheel pathway? You're into downhill mountain biking, weren't you?
Yeah, so downhill, that was sort of what I did before started racing. And I think the only reason I started racing was because my mum wanted to get me out of the sport that was so dangerous and into something a bit safer. So, that was something that I was pretty committed to when I was a teenager, or not was a teacher, like mid-teens. And yeah, that was pretty scary. I tend to get on my bike every now and then, but maybe not as hardcore and committed as I used to be.
Since then, the opportunities in motor racing in a four-wheel sense have taken you to all sorts of places, from success in Formula 3 in Australia, the GT4 class at the Bathurst 12-hour, and you've also been to Paul Ricard in France, haven't you? Yeah,
so I've had so many awesome opportunities to, see what motorsport is like all around the world. I think one championship I did was called the MRF Challenge, which was a Formula 3 spec race car that it's like a summer series for Australia, but the winter series for all the European guys. And getting to race against some of those, big names in Europe, definitely taught me a lot. And that was at the start of 2017. So I was still pretty fresh into motorsport, and that's what sort of really, got me going and sort of taught me a lot about racing.
So for now, you have immersed yourself in study, but is there a motorsport pathway? Mark Webber, I think fans can go and find it on the internet, in the very early days, kind of mapped out a potential career path that he might like to follow. What about for you?
I guess it's probably the common answer at the moment for most people in the Porsche scene is the Porsche pathway, simply because I have it so well mapped out. So obviously Carrera Cup this year, and then Carrera Cup again next year is the plan so far. And then from there, hopefully if we have success next year, we can move into Europe and follow the likes of Matty Campbell and Jackson and take that Porsche pathway right to the top.
Andy McElroy's quite a character. How do you find working in that organisation?
Oh, it's always good times. It's motorsport is all about fun. It's some people can get a bit too carried away with it, but working with McElroy and in that team, it's always just fun and games at a race weekend, which just makes it, takes a lot of the pressure off the drivers firstly, but also just makes it, really enjoyable to be there and just have fun with all the guys.
In the meantime, too, the study that you've been doing isn't just at university. Your sponsor's been very good in I guess, a mentoring sense, and helping you understand the kind of things to be mindful of, perhaps the pitfalls, and how to conduct yourself in a business sense for the game.
Yeah, correct. So Will Shrapnel, he's obviously helped me a lot to not only get on the track, but also off track. He's been mentoring me through my studies, through work, through all of the off track side of motorsport, which has been a massive help and has played a massive role in my career so far as well. So I've been working at Heli Motors a couple of days a week as an intern, getting hands-on with some of the helicopters there and right into the design work as well, which has been pretty awesome for my uni degree, because there's not many people in my position that really get a chance to actually get hands-on with proper engineering work until they graduate. So to have sort of this experience when I'm still studying can mean that I'm applying the theory that I learn in my degree straight away into the stuff I'm working on during the week. I
would imagine there's a little bit of envy among your university colleagues and friends. What are you now? You're 20, and to get to do this sort of stuff as well is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm very appreciative of it.
Cool. Hey, it's been fantastic to talk to you. Thank you so much for coming on. We wish you all the best for the remainder of the season. It looks like hopefully when we get to go racing, it'll be a compressed, very busy time, won't it?
It will be. It'll be pretty full on. So we're just trying to stay on top of the training, get in the sim as much as we can, and hopefully, when this all clears up, we can come back fighting.
Awesome stuff. Passionate about what he's doing, and we wish him all the very best. Harri Jones there joining us at Motorsport Australia, and we'd love to know from you who you might like to hear from in some of these forthcoming interviews. Perhaps it's someone with a wealth of experience that's won championships. Maybe it's someone from the engineering side, or a youngster on the rise like Harri. So jump on all of our social media platforms and give us a bit of feedback. Let us know what you think. And don't forget, of course, the official website, motorsport.org.au, for all the latest news and information, particularly around licensing and when we might go racing again. Hopefully that's not too far away. Stay safe, and bye for now.